Hi, this is Mrs. Galvan. Today we're going to be talking about setting up your classroom. Tip number 1, start with the basics. We want to get clear bins, black and white bins, anything that's not going to go with a color or with a theme, things that can last us for a long time. So I have some of my favorites here, especially from Dollar Tree. I was able to get these bins in white. They also have colors, but I love the white because you can keep it and update it later. So these are nice and big. You can use them in your classroom library. I also found this organizer for $1 and these file folders. These file folders are a 3-pack for $1. These little bins can go inside of your desk for all of your pens to be collected and stay together. The next classroom basic is white cardstock. I always load up on this so that I'm ready to print all of my activities. I like these file boxes. I found this one for under $5 at Walmart, and I'll show you how we can make a classroom setup kit with it a little bit later. This is the Sterilite 3-drawer bins. You see a lot of teachers use these for copy, grade, and file, and they fit regular 8.5 by 11-inch paper. These are a great way to organize. Okay, and my last two favorites for basic organization is a big bin. This is a Sterilite container. I got it at Big Lots, and I like it because you're able to put in full-size sheets of paper and clipboards. So one of the ways that I organize some of my centers is by having each center contained in one of these small zippered pouches that hold it all together, and then put them inside of one of these bins. So I'll have a bin for reading games and another one for math materials. Setup tip number 2. Decorate your bulletin boards. Keep it simple. I like to put my bulletin boards up and use black fabric because the fabric is easy to clean, it's not going to fade, and you can just wash it if you need to. So the first thing I do is I put up the fabric, and then I stick with a neutral boardette. So I actually really like this black and white boardette. It's got straight edges, they're not going to be curvy or anything, so this is a really nice simple way to fix your bulletin boards. Don't be afraid to leave some bulletin boards empty so you can put up student work later. That way it's less work up front and you're leaving space without everything being super cluttered. Classroom setup tip number 3. Pick a color. Once you pick a color, you're going to add pops of it everywhere. This is a little bit better than picking a theme because you'll be able This is a little bit better than picking a theme because you'll be able to reuse the colors and you can change out themes later. So I have some more bins from Dollar Tree. Not only did they have the white bins, but they also have these blue. So if blue was going to be your main accent color, then you can load up on some of these, and they have a lot of other cute things. We've all seen these little boxes where you can put your crayons or organize your dice, your deck of cards. So you see here, I'm trying to pick everything in blue. Blue's kind of like my color. I have some blue magnets and blue magnetic clips. These are also from Dollar Tree. Some word strips so you can put up on your word wall or using your pocket charts. This is one of my favorite ways to add a big pop of color without spending a lot of money. So you get 2 of these big tissue pom-poms for $1. And these go very nicely maybe on the corner of your bulletin boards, or I've even seen really cute little animals that they make and hang them from the ceiling tiles. This pocket chart scheduler was only $1, and I like this one for using at students' desks. These magnetic pockets with a window. So I like these for the board. You have all of your teacher supplies. And it has a little Velcro closure so you could see whatever you need. Okay, so I have more bins. This is also from Dollar Tree. It closes, it snaps, it's pretty secure. This bin is from the kitchen section at Dollar Tree, and they have some blue. So some of these items, they were also available in pink. If pink is your color, then that's what you want to go with. They had this one. It's a little sandwich lock top box. And they have those magnetic pockets. The magnetic pockets were also available in this hot pink. And my favorite way to add a lot of color without spending a lot of money is to use Astro Brights. So I used to be partial to the primary colors, red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. But now I'm liking the brighter neon colors, especially this lunar blue. So stock up on a lot of Astro Brights and you'll be able to give it a big pop of color without spending much money. Last way is to use these binder pouches. I was able to get these for 48 cents at Walmart, but I have gotten them for 25 cents in the years past. So you just have to go at the right time and try to get these. Like I said, these are the ones that you can use to organize all of your materials, like your phonics games or your math materials, and then put them inside the big box. Classroom setup tip number 4. Make a list of the things that you need in your classroom and the things you want. I always start off with my classroom rules and my hand signals. Those are the first 2 things I set up. And of course, you're gonna have other basic things like your focus wall, your alphabet strip that might go on top of the bulletin boards. And then there's some other things that you might want in your classroom. I always like to set up a classroom library, but it's going to be different for everyone. If you're serving bilingual students, you might need a list of cognates. If you have early childhood kids, you might need your word wall up and set up with a lot of visuals. So one of my favorite things to add is these classroom hand signals. And it's just one way to help with classroom management. So students can see the symbol and they know, you just cross your little fingers. It makes the letter R like in sign language, and then they know what it means. So whether they're readers or not, they still are able to tell you what they want. Classroom setup tip number 5. Draw out your layout. Think about how you want things to be in your classroom and then just start drawing them over and over again. So this is one of the layouts that I used when I was in kinder, and I even did something similar in 3rd and 4th grade. So I started off by writing in where the whiteboard is and where the door is, and then I like to organize my things so that I'm ready for centers when we start doing them. So I had either student groups, 6 desks clustered up to make a little group here, or when I was in kinder, we just had rectangle tables. They would go right there. So I have my projector in the center. It's going to project to the whiteboard, and then I have a group of 6, a group of 6, a group of 6, and a teacher table right here, a kidney table. So this way I'm able to work with students. If they need a little bit extra help, those are the students that are going to be sitting there. They're at the very front, and even though my projector is here, I'm often near the front of the room. Other things that I have here, I had a carpet area when I was in kinder or first. I also had a sight words poster, a calendar, a teacher's desk over here near the entrance, just so I can put all my things down. But later on, I actually started to have it closer to my kidney table, and I would be able to work with a lot of students while I'm doing things that I need to do as well. I had a classroom library over here and computers. So one of the biggest tips I can give you for doing centers in your classroom is, instead of having complicated charts and graphs about where you're going next, is just to move in a circle. So students that are right here are going to the teacher table, students that are at the teacher table are going to this group, and students that are here begin in the computers. So this is always going to be rotating in a circle, and it's just the same every single day. So what you can do is you can actually switch out the activities that go in each of the centers without having to make a lot of changes to the daily routine. So for example, I talked about having these boxes that you could have all of your materials in. So one of them could be your independent reading activities, and I would usually put that box right here. Then here we would do guided reading with the teacher, right? Over here, students could work on a phonics cut and paste activity, or it could be work on writing and they're doing it in their composition notebook. And then the students that were in this group would know immediately to go to the computers. And I didn't always have a lot of computers, so I started off with about 4 computers. And anytime you're doing centers, you might have 6 students. So I would usually pair up one group of students, and they could use a single computer with a headphone splitter, so that could give you a little bit more options there. And they're just going to keep going around in a circle. So my last tip is my bonus tip on setting up your classroom. Bonus tip: make a classroom setup kit. So I use this clear file box from Walmart for under $5, and I just labeled it Classroom Setup Kit, and then I started to gather all of my materials. So some of the supplies that we need: staplers, staples, masking tape, clear tape, tape dispenser, glue gun, glue sticks. If you have all of these materials on hand, then it's going to be a lot easier to set up those bulletin boards at the beginning. You won't be looking for things. So I'll show you some of my materials. The coolest thing I have in here is my power tool. So this is actually a glue gun, but it is completely wireless, so you don't have to charge it, or you don't have to be connected with the cord. You have to charge it ahead of time, and it lasts for such a long time. Other things I have in here: different kinds of tape. I have a tape dispenser. I also have masking tape, and then simple things like scissors and an X-Acto knife. This X-Acto knife, sometimes you have to trim bulletin board, makes it super easy. Other things: this staple remover, and a pencil and a ruler. So I hope you like these classroom setup tips, and hopefully I'll be making another video soon to share about some of my classroom management tips. See you soon. The next basic is